Logged in. 5 more minutes. Are you going to need to join me again, Lou? Come on. Come on. You have to be quiet. You have to be a good boy. Okay? Oh, God. You have to be good. So Lou is going to join us because there's somebody playing basketball outside and he is losing his mind right now. So he's not being a very good boy out there. Are you? Are you? I know Zella's there too, but if I let her in, you guys are going to fight, aren't you? We have 2 minutes to figure this out, you two. 2 minutes. Zella. Come on. I know it's very exciting to be in Mommy's room, but you have to sit down. Great. Don't burn your nose on the light. You guys gonna lay down? I don't know if I can trust both of you in here for any amount of time. Not on the mat. Not on the mat with your dirty feet. What time is it? You have 2 minutes. Go lay down. Go lay down. I know, I love you too. Go lay down. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work, you guys, because you're kind of blocking the entire thing. You're kind of blocking Mommy's yoga class here. All right, so everybody out. Let's go. Let's go. Problem solved. Dogs have been dealt with. All right. So we're about to get started, just another minute or so. So if you haven't already, grab your blocks or whatever you're going to use in place of them, and your strap or whatever you're going to use in place of that. And we'll get started. Okay. All right. Well, it is 5:30, so let's get started. Hi, I'm Jessica, and this is Yoga for Beginners, and welcome to your 5:30 Monday night intermediate Hatha yoga class. So tonight we're going to work on strength, stretching, and everything in between. So if you haven't already, grab 2 blocks, or instead of 2 blocks, you can use 2 big sturdy books about the same size, and you will also need a strap. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a dog's leash or a belt or a scarf or a tie in place of that. And we are going to get started just seated. So take a moment here, close your eyes, and bring your hands to your knees. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then down your back. Just have a nice, tall, straight spine. So anytime you're sitting on the ground, the most important part of this pose is to have your spine straight. So if you have this rounded position of your hips, this is called the posterior pelvic tilt, which is really a dangerous position for your back. You want to elevate your hips so that your spine is sitting up nice and tall. So you sit on a block or pillows and or sit up against a wall so that you can have something to support your back and take the pressure off of your hips and make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. So we're going to just start by breathing in through the nose and then breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. Good to just kind of bring ourselves to class. And you can close your eyes if you want to. I am going to start with a breathing exercise. You can actually open your eyes while I explain this. So this breathing exercise is called box breath or square breath or tactical breath. This is a breath that the Navy SEALs actually use to calm down their soldiers and to release anxiety. And so it's, something that is completely 100% effective, and it's very easy to do. So we're going to do that tonight because I just feel like as a whole this week, we all started off really tense. So we're going to bring that level of tension down before we start our class. So all we do with this breath is we breathe in for a count of 4, hold it at the top for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold it at the bottom for a count of 4, and then repeat. So it's up. So it's in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold, all for a count of 4. So let's begin with the lip sealed. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you do it on your own. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and release. Open your eyes. Great. So now we're nice and calm. We'll begin by just doing some seated cat-cows. So if you want to inhale, arch the back, gaze up toward the sky as you lift up through the heart. Feel your entire spine here. So feel the upper part of the spine, the thoracic spine. Feel the lower part of the spine, the lumbar spine, and your neck. Good. Exhale. Round. Drop the head. Feel like you're pressing the spot in between your shoulder blades back behind you. Inhale, lift. So as you come into your cow pose here, I want you to feel like you're not just stretching the front body, but you're also engaging the muscles of the back body to arch the back. And then exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Let's do one more time, each direction. Inhale, cow. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, cat. Round through the spine. Excellent. Let's come back to a seat and we're just going to take the arms, reach them up overhead. Exhale, we're going to lean over to the left. So the left hand comes down, right arm reaches over the head. Feel like you're pressing yourself into a wall behind you. So if you feel like you're kind of lazy and you're just kind of reaching the arm over, I want you to really engage. Roll this top shoulder back so that it's stacked over top of the bottom shoulder. And you're really having to work here. So you want to really engage your back muscles to keep your back nice and straight. Inhale, reach up, and we're just going to go right to the other side. Exhale, take this right hand down, reach the left arm over the head. Good. Roll the right shoulder, the left shoulder back. Keep breathing here. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. We're going to use our Ujjayi pranayama, our victorious breath. Inhale, reach up. This time we're going to twist. So exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Keep the hips anchored down. Keep pulling, even though you're twisting to the left, I want you to feel like you're pulling that right hip back away from your twist. Again, feel like you're squeezing with your back muscles to really open through your chest. So feel like this back shoulder is being pulled back, like you're pinning that shoulder blade towards your spine. And then inhale, release, arms reach up. Exhale, twist to the other side. So now we have this right shoulder back and we're trying to pull that shoulder blade back right onto your spine. Lift through the heart, open the chest, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bring your knees up and then bring your feet off of the floor. We're going to come into boat pose or half boat pose. We're going to start off with our half boat. Hands can be back behind your knees or your arms can be reaching out in front of you. Keep your chest lifted, kind of like you're opening up your chest towards the sky. We're just going to breathe here. Now, if you really want to go all the way straight in the legs, but keep your back from rounding, you don't want to do this. You want to have your chest lifted the whole time. So it's more about the alignment in the pose than it is about getting your legs all the way up there. Good. Push through the heels, squeeze the knees together. Good. And then you're going to lie down, reach your arms overhead, reach your feet down below. Nice. And just give your right leg a squeeze. From here, extend the right foot up towards the sky. If you can straighten the leg, great. If not, you can have the knee bent. And we're just going to take the hands, interlace them behind the thigh. If you've got your knee bent and you can't straighten it, that's okay. If you've got the leg straight, you can reach up and grab the foot. And we're just going to lift the head toward the leg. If you've got that foot, flex the foot. So pointing the toe is not going to give you as much stretch through the back of the leg. But as you do this, whether you've got your leg bent or straight, I want you to think about pinning your left thigh and your left calf to the floor. Now your left thigh probably won't touch the floor, but I want you to press it down towards the floor. Good. Keep this leg right where it is, and then extend the arms out like you're reaching towards your left foot. Keep breathing. Look up towards your top foot. Get both of those shoulders off of the ground if you can. Good. And then we're going to come up, the right leg up. Keep the chest lifted. So now you're going to feel it in your front thigh. Keep the chest up, up, up. If you have to come back here to keep that chest lifted, that's okay. Good. Now slowly let that right leg hover as your back comes down to the ground. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Ooh, the right side of the body feels different than the left. How about that? Let's take the left knee into your chest. Give it a nice squeeze. Pin this right leg down to the ground. So really lock it in place. You're going to lift this left foot, whether the knee is bent or you've got the leg straight. You're going to lift the head. Lift, lift, lift. Right now, you're just stretching out through the back of that left thigh. Make sure that you're breathing. Good. Now extend the arms long. Look up. So if you look forward, you're going to start to put pressure on the back of the neck, and it makes it a little bit uncomfortable. So look up, up, up. Reach, reach, reach. Get the shoulders off of the ground. Whew. I loathe doing strength building. So this is like excruciating for me. I would much rather just be stretching, stretching, stretching. So this is what I need. I'll notice that the thing that you need most in yoga is the thing that you like least. Okay, now we're going to sit up. Whew. Reach, reach, reach. Keep the chest lifted. Squeeze that front thigh. Good, and then start to hover the leg as you come down. Shoulders off the ground. Good, now put the shoulders down. Release the leg. Whew. Arms overhead. Okay. I made it through that one, right? One step at a time. Hug your knees into your chest, and we're going to grab the backs of the thighs, cross the ankles, and we're just going to rock front to back, and eventually press up, downward facing dog. Here we are. Yes. I feel like you know that you've arrived in your yoga practice when you've come to downward facing dog, right? Where else in the world do we do downward facing dog but yoga? So just take a few breaths here. Feet are about hip width distance apart. And then we're going to rock the heels over to the right. Stretching out through the left side body. Come back onto your toes and then rock the heels over to the left. Stretching out the right side of the body. Come back to center. Lift the hips. Down dog again. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, and walk or float the feet up to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Nice, relaxing pose. Good. Take a moment here and grab opposite elbows, hang in ragdoll. Try to bring the weight forward into your toe mound so that your hips are stacked over top of your heels. I tend to press back like this, so I'm kind of like tilted backwards. So I always have to remind myself to lean forward. This actually gets you a deeper stretch. Inhale, lift halfway. So if you cannot lift halfway with your hands on the ground, hands go to your shins. Back is straight here. So this isn't just forward fold and rounded half forward fold. Lift the heart. Good. Now arms are going to stretch out wide and we rise all the way up to stand. Palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's not throw. Let's flow through some sun salutations. We're going to go sun salutation A first. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, plank. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Hips stay lifted, toes pressing into the ground. Inhale, baby cobra pose. Feel the shoulders pulling back, little to no weight in your hands. You're using your back muscles to keep your back lifted. Good. Press into the ground, tuck the toes, lift back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. You're really stretching out through the armpits. So really, really feel the hips lifting up. Pull the belly button towards the thighs. Pull the chest toward the thighs and squeeze the back muscles. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, come up onto the toes, bend the knees, press the hands, jump forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, high mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. One more sun A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, you can step back to plank and move through chaturanga, or you can jump back through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog this time. Pull the heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just a few breaths here. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk or float the feet to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Move on to our sun salutation B. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Whoops, chair pose. Arms reach up. Gaze is forward. Shoulders down your back. Squeeze through the back muscles. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Make your way through your vinyasa. Jump back through chaturanga or step back to plank and move through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot up in between your hands. Back toes turn out 45 degrees. We rise up, warrior one. Gazing forward, hands separated. Exhale, hands come down. Step back, plank. Lower down all the way to the ground, guys. So this time we're coming into baby cobra. I'm going to take the arms off of the ground, hands off the ground, arms back. Point the toes, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the shoulders, lift the head, lift the heart. Exhale, bring the hands down, tuck the toes, lift back, downward facing dog. Look forward, left foot steps forward, warrior one, left side, arms high. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, exhale, down dog. Couple breaths here. Inhale, look forward, exhale, walk or float up, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, hands to heart. Good. Okay, so we're going to step back with our right foot coming into a high lunge. Keep the back knee lifted unless you need to put the knee down for support, whichever works for you. And we're going to take the arms up, gaze forward, pull the back heel forward. So notice if you're pressing back into that back heel, it's going to start to kill the Achilles tendon. So you want to pull that heel forward. It's a little bit harder, more work, but of course, more work means more strength. So pull that heel forward. Good. Squeeze the right hip forward, left hip back. Now we're going to take the right arm underneath of the left, coming into eagle arms. Now, if that doesn't work and you find yourself doing kind of like this, just bring your hands together. So just either way, you're going to look up and start to rotate the upper body like you're pointing the hands up toward the sky, toward the wall behind you. Pull the belly in. Wrap the shoulders forward. So we're really stretching out through the back muscles here. Come back to center. And we're going to interlace the hands behind the back. Wiggle walk your left foot over to the left a little bit and drop the back heel down. We're going to come into warrior one here and roll the shoulders back and down. Preparing for our humble warrior. Fold to the inside of the left leg. Press the hands up and away from the spine. So you want to press your palms together. If you're not able to press your palms together, I want you to grab your strap. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Grab your strap and you're going to pull your hands together on your strap. And just fold. So you press your hands up and away from your spine. So here you have the tendency to kind of turn to the right. Start to pull the right hip forward and the left hip back. So this left thigh should be screaming at you by now. Good. And then we're going to release the hands down. Walk your hands out like you're trying to reach them forward. And then come out on a diagonal for burning warrior. Back heel is still pressed into the earth. Front foot, you're still pressing down all four corners of the foot. Good. And we're going to come up, open up into warrior two. So shift your feet into alignment here so that your front heel is facing the arch of the back foot. Arms are out wide to a T. Good. And you're going to flip the front palm, exhale, reverse warrior. And then let's straighten the front leg. Keep reversing your warrior. Inhale, arms out to a T. Press the hips back towards the wall behind you. And then we come into our triangle pose. So triangle pose, imagine that you're pressing yourself into an imaginary wall that's behind you. You want to have your arms stacked over top of each other. You want to have your hips stacked over top of each other. And you want the front foot lined up with the back foot, just like when you were in warrior two. So if this is not possible here, you start to lift up. The front leg remains straight. If you find this leg is bending, that means that you need to come up a little bit higher. It's okay if you are here in your triangle pose with your hands at your hips. From the side, I'm going to show you exactly what you should be seeing. So you should be seeing your entire body in one line. So if you're doing this to get your hand down onto the ground, your arm is somewhere out over here, just start to lift up. Press everything into alignment by squeezing tight all of your back muscles. When you do that, you pull yourself into the proper alignment of the pose. Look up toward the sky. Inhale, rise up, and we're going to turn both feet to face the side of the room. Face the side of your mat. Okay, so if you've got sciatic issues, turn your toes out 45 degrees. If not, you're going to pigeon toe your feet, and your arms are going to come out wide. Good. You're going to fold halfway. Now, if this is enough for you, stay here. You can bring your hands to your hips, or you can bring your hands to your blocks. You want to have your hips in an anterior pelvic tilt here. So you want your butt sticking up and you want your back straight. If you're rounding your back, again, it's putting stress on your vertebrae. So we don't want to do that. So really, really make sure that you are aligned properly in this pose. All right, so come down as far as you can comfortably, keeping your tailbone pointing straight up toward the sky. If your tailbone starts to round and point behind you, that means that you just need to come up and realign. Okay, so if you're here and your head is easily touching the ground, bring your feet a little bit closer together. Maybe walk your hands behind you. And if you have a headstand, a supported headstand in your practice, you can go ahead and take your supported headstand by elbows being on the ground. So if your elbows are on the ground, then you know that you are set up properly to do this. If you're coming into your supported headstand, you're going to interlace your fingers together and place the crown of your head in your hands. Press into your forearms. As you start to lift up, you're going to press your legs out wide. So it's really, really more about pressing them away from each other as you tilt your hips so that your hips are more upright. And then you start to bring your legs together. Belly in nice and tight. Press into your elbows. Point your toes. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your belly in. And then we'll come out, pressing your legs out wide, 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 wide. Start to tilt your pelvis down. Flex your feet and land. Hands down. Lift up halfway. Excellent. Rise all the way up, coming into our 5-pointed star. Back into warrior 2, left leg bent. Cartwheel the hands down, lift the back heel. All right, and we're going to step the left leg back, coming into a plank. Pull the belly in nice and tight. Stay in your plank here, and then you're going to drop your heels over to the left. So you're coming into your side plank. Right arm reaches up toward the sky. Now, if you need to scissor your feet, you can do that, or you can bring your bottom knee down to the ground. Whatever works for you. Then exhale, come down, plank, and lower all the way down to the ground. Whew, nice. Bring your hands underneath of your head and take your feet out as wide as the mat for crocodile pose. Take a minute here to catch your breath. Good. All right, so from our crocodile pose, we are going to take our hands behind our ears. Feet are as wide as the mat. Squeeze through the glutes, squeeze through the thighs. Elbows are out wide. Squeeze through the back muscles as you lift your head and your heart. Breathe, look forward. So back bending, like I said, is as much, if not more, strength in the back than flexibility through the front body. Good. Exhale, release, press back, child's pose. Good. Come up onto the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Nice. All right, we're getting ready to start the other side. So let's inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk or float the feet up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, high mountain. Bring the hands together, Samastitahi. All right, so now we're gonna start with the other side. You're gonna step your left leg way back, coming into a high lunge. Now again, if you need to drop down to the back knee, drop down to the back knee. Core is nice and tight. Pull the right hip back so you're squeezing the left hip forward and in. And we're gonna bring the arms up. Good, looking forward. We come into our Garudasana arms, eagle arms. So left arm is gonna come underneath of the right. If you've got this bind where the left hand can press into the right palm, that's great. If not, grab opposite elbows. Wrap the shoulders forward. Take a breath in and start to lift up, making that imaginary line on the wall, on the ceiling above you. And you're pointing your hands toward the wall behind you. Breathe in here. So focus more on the breathing than anything else, as we should do in every single pose. Breath first, asana second. Nice. Come back to center. Release the hands, interlace them behind the back. Roll the shoulders down. Drop the back heel, turn the back toes out 45 degrees. Wiggle walk the right foot out towards the right edge of the mat, and we drop into our bowing warrior, humble warrior. Again, if you're not able to press the palms together here, grab your strap. Use your strap. It takes pressure off of the shoulders. Try to pull that right hip forward, left hip back into alignment. Very nice. Release the hands down, and we're going to start to walk them away on a diagonal for burning warrior. I'm actually going to turn to face you guys and do this all on this side. Inhale, come up into your warrior two, front leg still bent. Reverse your warrior, right hand flips up, and we reach up and over. Get straight in the front leg, keep reversing the warrior, and then bring the hands out wide, coming into your triangle pose, Trikonasana. So same thing as on the other side. Both legs are straight. Hands are in one long line, fingertip to fingertip, they're stacked. So if you were to look at me from the front, I would look two-dimensional here. Pull the hips underneath of you so that you're not sticking your back hip out behind you. And look up toward the sky. Unless it hurts your neck, look down. So I'm such a stickler for alignment because every yoga pose was created to have a very precise, energetic stimulation. So we're lining ourselves up to the sacred geometry of the universe. And if the alignment is off, you cut off the energy centers that we are trying to actually open so our energy frees slowly or flows freely. So if you cut those energy centers off, we cut off the energy and we start to create discord in the body. Inhale, rise up. And we're going to turn the feet to face the side of the mat, coming into our wide-legged forward fold again. So this time, I want your hands to be at your hips as you fold forward. Now, if you went upside down last time, stay on your feet this time. And if you need your blocks, place your hands on your blocks. If you don't need your blocks, grab big toes. Index finger and middle finger and the thumb, wrap around the big toes, pull the head down, elbows come out. Try to shift the weight forward into your toe mounds. I'm going to hold this here for another 3 breaths. Stick the tailbone up. Lift the hips. Stretch through the chest. And then start to come up. Hands at the hips. Great. We're going to bend the right knee, coming back into warrior 2. Rotate the hands down. Come into plank pose. Find a nice strong plank here. Drop the heels over to the right. Left arm is going to reach up toward the sky. We come into our side plank. Exhale. All the way to plank, all the way to plank. Lower down, all the way to the floor. Great. Okay, so this time we're going to come into our Sphinx pose. Elbows are right underneath of the shoulders. Palms are pressing down. All right, pull the chest forward. Roll the shoulders back. Okay, point through the toes. So I really want you to feel like you are engaging all of your back muscles, all of your leg muscles, all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. Press your feet into the ground. And then you're going to start to lift your upper body by pressing your hands into the ground. Keep pulling your chest forward. So now you're going to take your right arm and reach it back. Squeeze your back muscles. Come up onto your left fingertips. Keep squeezing your back muscles, and then maybe lift the left hand. See if you can stay up as far as you were with your hands on the ground. Breathe. And then exhale, release. Whew, coming into crocodile pose again. Hands underneath of the forehead. So take a couple breaths here. And you can do this. It's all about just setting yourself up using the correct muscles for these back bends. Okay. So you ready to do the other side? All right. Coming back into Sphinx pose, press the hands into the ground, and then lift the upper body. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the lower back, squeeze the upper back, and we're going to come all the way up onto the fingertips of the right hand. Take the left arm back. Keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep breathing. Lift the chest, squeeze the back, lift the right arm. Squeeze those back muscles. And then release. Oh my God, that was really great, guys. I can't see you, but I can just imagine how you rocked that. Press your hands into the ground and back into child's pose. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, that's enough resting, right? Okay, we're gonna come into our, oh my goodness, I just had a brain fart. We're gonna come into our pigeon pose. Okay, I think all the blood rushed to my head when I stopped squeezing my back muscles. You're gonna take your right leg forward, bring your right knee somewhere behind your right hand, and your right foot is going to come somewhere behind your left hand. So hips are squared forward, slide the left leg back. Look over the right shoulder. Make sure that your back toes are not sickling in. You want them nice and straight out behind you. So here you're going to press your hands into the ground, lift your heart, and let's try that same thing again. Let's see if we can take our hands back, maybe bend the back knee. Maybe you can reach back and grab that back leg. Good, and then release. And we're just gonna come down into our half pigeon here. You can let your head rest on your arms, or you can bring your arms out in front of you, let your head rest on the ground. You want your head connected to something. Now, if this is really uncomfortable for you, you can lie on your back and do reclined pigeon. So if you're on your back, you're just gonna have your right leg crossed over top of your left. This is a really intense pose, and if you've got anything going on with your hip, it's a very, it's a pose that's very hard on your hip. And while you're here, instead of flexing your bottom foot, I know a lot of yoga teachers will tell you to do that, but it actually puts a lot of pressure on your ankle. So you're gonna point the foot, but flex the toes. This is called a floint. So just relax here for another couple breaths. And notice where your mind goes when you are in this particular posture. You start to go towards excruciating. When are we getting out of this pose? You start to get annoyed. Your mind starts to kind of trick you into thinking that you are somehow not safe here. You need to move. You need to get out. You need to, just have any distraction. You're thirsty. You need to scratch your nose. You need to move around, and see if you can just relax into this pose with your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Start to come up. Press your hands into the ground. Lift up into tabletop, and we're just going to come right onto the other side. So take that left leg forward. So left knee comes right behind the left hand. The left foot comes somewhere behind the right hand. The further forward your foot, the more intense the pose. So commit to wherever you are. If that foot is way up there, stay there. And, but only do that if it's comfortable for your knee, comfortable for your hip. Don't force yourself into a position that is going to hurt your body. So we're going to squeeze those back muscles again. Arms reach back, lift the heart, and maybe lift that back foot, bend the back knee. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And if you can, grab onto that back leg. Nice. Exhale, release, and enjoy some time in pigeon pose. Keeping your hips squared. Try not to drop over onto your left hip. And if you need to put the blocks underneath of your left hip, go ahead and do that to keep yourself leveled. And also, if you need to come onto your back into a reverse pigeon pose, go do that as well. So take a minute here to notice if you're clenching. I just noticed that I have a death grip on one of my arms with my other hand because the body goes into fight or flight reflex when you're in this pose, because it is a very intense pose and your mind is immediately stressed. So it wants to distract you. It wants to create tension. So just breathe into it. Start to lift up out of this pose. And this time we're just going to drop onto the left hip and swing the right leg forward and come into a seat. Okay. Excellent. So here we're just going to take the feet together, soles of the feet together, and come into our bound angle pose. So hands can be back here, hands can be on the feet, and you can just kind of butterfly the legs. Just making a little bit of movement here. All right, and then we're going to take the feet forward so they're a little bit further away from the body. You can stay upright like this. You're going to feel it on the outer hips. This is a really intense stretch for the outer hips. If you're not feeling it when you're upright like this, then start to walk the upper body forward. But again, don't round the spine. Keep the chest forward. This is just a forward fold. Same thing. You want to have your tailbone sticking out behind you. This is a really nice pose to open up our hips. So we're just going to breathe here for a few moments. I always like to hold each pose when I'm trying to create flexibility for at least 30 seconds. It takes about 30 seconds for the muscles to start to change length. So that's why I like to practice hatha, where you're holding the poses a little bit more than I practice vinyasa, because you really don't get that flexibility. Your body doesn't hold the flexibility when you're moving through these poses really quickly. You'll get a little bit more range of motion, but here this is going to allow your body, your muscles to retain the flexibility that we are creating. You don't want to work so hard and not get anything out of it, right? At least I don't. All right, and then start to walk your feet back up. So here's where you're going to use your blocks. So this is a variation of what's called lolasana, or scales pose. So you're going to set your blocks up right next to your thighs. Now, if you can come into full lotus pose, full padmasana, you can take full lotus pose. Now, I find this easier because there's less leverage that you have to work with. If you cannot do full lotus pose, just cross your legs on the ground. Okay, so you're going to take a deep breath in, lean back, and as you exhale, lift up and try to get your feet off of the ground. And then take a breath, lower down. Now, if you are in lotus pose, you probably noticed that it's a little bit easier. Take that deep breath in, lift up, and the feet come up, the knees come up because they are locked in. And it's called scales pose because you kind of rock back and forth like a scale. Excellent. Good. Bring it down. And we're going to come onto our knees and we're going to do another variation of scales pose. So this is a little bit more difficult. It's the same thing. You're pressing into it, but you're lifting your legs. So from the side, I'm going to show you. This is a little bit harder. I'm still building the ab strength after my ab surgery, so my feet are not coming all the way up off of the ground. So lean back, exhale, and lift. Oh, feet came up, yay. Now, as you get really strong, you can do that without the blocks, but that's a little bit more difficult. All right, so if you want to try your scales pose with lotus and no blocks, try that by lifting your butt up and your hands on the ground instead of blocks. Whew, exhale, release. Good job. Shake your wrists out. Whew. Okay, we've got one more balance pose coming up. And this is just straight leg L-sit. So this one's really hard. So we're going to press the hands into the blocks, squeeze the core, lift the right heel, and then the left. Right, left, and maybe both. And this pose is a little bit harder. So you squeeze your hips back and down. And that's all I'm doing. Shake your wrists out. And then we're going to just move the blocks out of the way and come onto our backs. Roll down nice and slow. Excellent job. Bring the soles of the feet to the ground. And we'll do, for our final hurrah, one bridge, actually two bridges. And if you want to make your second bridge pose, wheel pose, we'll do that. So preparing my hair so I don't stand on my hair. We're going to come into our bridge pose first. So let's take our feet right in front of our buttocks. Knees are hip width apart, feet are hip width apart. You don't want your knees knocking inward or your knees out wide. You want to have your thighs and your shins parallel to each other. Press your feet into the ground. Knees go forward, shoulders press into the ground. Squeeze your shoulders underneath of each other. Look straight up toward the ceiling. Good, and breathe here. Pull the belly in, squeeze your back muscles. Good, and then exhale it down. Shoulders come out. All right, so we do bridge pose again, or if you'd like to come into wheel pose, you're gonna take your hands by your ears, fingers facing down. Make sure that you're not putting your hands on your hair. All right, feet are in the same position, and you're gonna press up, just land on your noggin for a second. Get your hands down, press your feet down, squeeze your back, and lift up and away. Breathe. And when you're ready, come on down. Hug your knees into your chest. All right. If you want to do one more wheel pose, go right ahead and do one more wheel pose. So those of you who don't know, who haven't taken my classes before, I have recently had abdominal surgery, so I am not going to do another wheel pose. I still have a lot of tightness in my abs, but I will cheer you on if you are doing another wheel pose, but I will cheer you on from the ground. So if you're doing your wheel pose, go right ahead. If not, let's take one of our blocks or our sturdy books and place it underneath of our tailbone. We come into a supported bridge pose. And this pose feels so nice. You get the stretch, but you don't have to do any of the work. Create enough space in between your chest and your chin for something the size of your fist, so you're not locking your chin into your chest. And if you'd like a little bit deeper of a stretch, extend your legs straight, and you can even take your arms overhead. You did a lot of work today. You should be very proud, and you should just give your body some rest that it needs. Beautiful. Take your arms down, feet onto the ground, lift your hips up, and we come into our final pose, Shavasana. Take your legs down onto the floor, bring your arms down by your sides. Find whatever position gives you comfort and stillness. Take a few breaths to settle into this pose. Using whatever props you want. If you need to use a pillow or a blanket, whatever it is, let yourself be there and find all of the comfort that you need. You prepare your body physically, and now we'll begin to prepare the body with the breath, letting your lips part slightly, just finding a natural rhythmic breathing. Start to feel the floor beneath you, feel the air touching your skin. Notice your awareness to the outermost parts of your body. And as we move deeper into Shavasana, we start to bring our awareness inward, away from our skin. away from where our body is separate from the environment around us. Reaching for samadhi, our enlightenment, finding the union between our physical body and our conscious body, our connection with the cosmic universe and oneness. Take a few moments here in quiet, and I'll bring you out in about 3 minutes. Begin to bring awareness back into your body, starting to let the awareness move out toward the surface of your skin once again. Hearing the sounds around you, feeling the temperature of the air, the clothing on your body, the taste in your mouth, and the breath moving in and out of your nose. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and maybe stretch your arms overhead. When you're ready, roll your knees into your chest and come over onto your right side in a fetal pose. Taking a minute here just to come back to life. And start to come up to a seat. And we always notice how we're never quite able to rest as well as we rest after a yoga class in Shavasana, and that's because we have unblocked the energy in the body and we've let the energy flow freely. And when the energy is flowing freely, our body can come to rest. Our body has everything that it needs. And that's the beauty of yoga. So bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your head in a gesture to remind us of the connection between mind and body. Please go from here tonight with peace and inner strength. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, of light, of peace, of truth. When you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me tonight. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe and hit that little bell notification next to the subscribe button so that you can get notified whenever I post new videos. I post them every single week on Tuesday. And hit that like button if you like this video so that I can keep offering you more free classes. So thanks so much for joining, guys. Namaste.